Good morning, everybody. It's your good pal Jeremy Dog Danley back live from Las Vegas for another edition of Bar Comedy USA News. It was a good week of comedy last week. Some quick shout outs to Derek Luna and Scott Hutman. They brought the Pub and Grub Comedy Tour to Richland, Michigan, the dock at Bayview. I heard it was a little bit lighter turnout, but a fun crowd, so that's cool. Shout out to the folks at the dock at Bayview and bringing in the show. Dwayne White and Calvin Eggleston went to Somerset, Kentucky, the Cove Grill, and they loved them. Dwayne also went over to Hops in Campton, Kentucky with Andy Gunnan. And that was another good one. Frank Roach, Dan West at Rooster's Bar. Their first comedy night ever. They broke the cherry in Reedstown, Wisconsin. And then Derek Luna, my goodness, also one of the hosts of the World Series of Comedy, which this week is happening in Fort Wayne, Indiana at Summit City Comedy Club. VIP at TicketHub.com for tickets on that. I'm anxiously awaiting right now a call from or text from Double T to go live with Bar Comedy News in Rockford, Illinois on 96.7 FM. Derek went all the way from Richland, Michigan to Chanute, Texas. Kansas at the American Legion. That's a heck of a jaunt. And then he was joined by Skylar Bulks, and they loved him. Ed Burrows and Dave Hausgaard hit Centertown, Missouri at the Outpost. So shout out to all the comedians and superstars of the Pub and Grub Comedy Tour and all the venues. I'm going to go get something to drink, and I'm going to anxiously await Double T's text to let me know it's time to go on the air in Rockford with Bar Comedy USA News, 96.7 FM, The Eagle. You can also listen there if you're in the area, or however they might do it online. I should find that out somehow. And hang tight. And we're back. It's your good pal Jeremy Dog Danley, live in Las Vegas, Nevada, ready to go on the air with Double T. Stand by. Comment below where you are watching from, and I will let you know when the Pub and Grub Comedy Tour is heading to a town near you. I'm going to give Double T a call. Stand by. All right, here we go.
Rockford's home for Classic Rock, 96.7 The Eagle. Double T Morning, sponsored by Tommy's Express Car Wash at Loves Park on Forest Hills on East Riverside. It is time for Bar Comedy USA News with J-Dog. J-Dog, what's happening today?
Good morning, Double T. It's good to talk to you, man. I got to tell you, it's been a little bit of a strange situation happening in the world of bar comedy lately.
Really? What? I mean, I know weird things happen all the time, but I mean, what's so strange that kind of got you go?
It's something that I've noticed before, and it just so happened that this occurred in a couple different places recently. Maybe it's starting a pattern, I don't know. But I've had a few places that have said, hey man, is it okay if we have kids at this thing?
Are you serious? I mean, aren't these events, these comedy shows in bars?
Exactly, Double T. It's called bar comedy. And there's a reason we go to bars and clubs, not churches and schools.
Right. So you can kind of say things for adults only that aren't made for kids. And especially because the shows, I mean, they don't start at 5:30 or anything. They're a little bit later at night, right?
They're a little bit later at night. That's for a reason as well, and to keep the kids away, which should be implied when you're having a show at 9 o'clock at night at a nightclub, tavern, or a neighborhood pub and grub. However, it's also going to be a little bit awkward when people ask, hey, how do you think the show's going to go with kids in the crowd? Spoiler alert, not good. It's a bad idea.
I could just imagine you like taking that set list in your brain. Well, can't talk about that, can't talk about that, can't talk about that. It's going to take away half everyone's sets if there's kids there.
It's like trying to mix oil and water, cats and dogs, tequila and pot. I mean, you might think you're the one person that'll be able to do it, but it's not even about the crude jokes or the foul language or the stench of stale beer. It's really just about the awkwardness of everybody else in the audience.
Yeah, because it's probably like one family, with their kid or kids or whatever, and everyone's like, why are the kids here again? I didn't know about this.
Exactly. And so even if you sit there and say, oh, well, it's nothing that my kids have never heard before, it's not about the language. It's that everybody in that room is going, should we really be talking about this with kids present? By the way, we also are out here spending money on date night to escape our kids.
I don't want to sit here with somebody else's kids ruining my time. And not that there's anything wrong with kids or anything wrong with bringing your kids places. There's just certain situations where you just don't bring them. You leave them at home or grandma and grandpa or something,
Totally. It just ruins the vibe. There's nothing worse than trying to enjoy a few drinks and have some belly laughs only to have the night completely derailed by a screaming child running amok.
And then some of these shows are on school nights.
Exactly, which, I don't care so much about that. Go ahead and skip school the next day. I don't care about that. I'm all in favor of skipping school. But you know what else I'm in favor of, Double T?
What's that?
Kids skipping the comedy night.
It's Bar Comedy USA News with comedian J-Dog. J-Dog, tell everybody about the Pub and Grub Comedy Tour and where they can find it.
Well, you go to barcomictix.com, you leave the kids at home, you grab your friends, you grab your neighbors, you grab whoever you want, and you head on over to a Pub and Grub comedy tour show near you, blow off some steam, and have a few drinks, share some laughs. You'll have a great time. Leave the kids at home, barcomictix.com.
It's Rockford's home for Classic Rock, 96.7 The Eagle. That's funny, man. I can't believe people bring kids, man.
Oh, absolutely. I had a text from Uncle Larry. You know Uncle Larry Reeb.
Yeah, yeah,
And he's good enough to handle pretty much any situation.
yeah, definitely.
And he doesn't necessarily, I mean, he can use foul language, but not necessarily. But it's still for grown-ups, adults only. And he sends me a text message. It's like 10 minutes before showtime. There's effing kids in this crowd. I'm like,
Where was that at?
that was Frankenmuth, Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Little-
All right.
They should have known better.
I thought you were if you would have said Wisconsin, I would have understood.
There are a few other places that have also asked ahead of time. Hey, it's like the day of. They're like, someone asked me what the policy is on kids at the show.
Right.
And I'm like, well, we've never had to figure out to write down an official policy, so I'm just going to make something up right now.
Oh my God.
Don't do it.
Right. Yeah.
The,
No,
the answer is
oh.
right. If you look, should kids be at the comedy show contract clause? It's just one word. No.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Well, cool, man. I appreciate it, buddy.
All right. Thank you, Double T. That was fun.
Yeah, have a good one, man.
Talk to you next week.
Yep.
All right, that was it. Kids should not be at a comedy show. Don't be that guy that puts the comedians in the awkward position because you've got your kids at the comedy night sitting in the front row. Everybody can see them. If you don't want to deal with them, what makes you think we do? That's it. This is Jared Dog over and out for Bar Comedy USA News. I'll do another one of these next week at about the same time, Tuesday around 8, 8:10, 8:15, as close as possible. I'll go on the air with Double T. I'll have more shout-outs for the Pub and Grub Comedy Tour Superstars and Bar Comedy USA and updates about the World Series of Comedy, which also is, again, happening this week at Summit City Comedy Club in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Go to VIPTicketHub.com for that to get your tickets or watch the live stream, which is also cool because you can do that from anywhere, from the comfort of your living room. All right, that's it. Thanks, Dog bless America.